Good evening. We are a true crime and wine couple. Once again, excuse our appearance. It's late where we are. We are going to refrain from commentary about most of this episode. And there's a trigger warning. This is the episode where they discuss Garrison's passing. So if you are upset by any type of mental health issues or, suicide or anything like that, we would recommend that you not watch or you watch at your discretion. So the episode starts out with Christine and David having an impromptu get together at their house, and there's way too much screen time wasted playing frisbee and finding a frisbee that flew over the fence, and it was just filler.
It was unnecessary filler. Wow. I mean, you're going to go into what the rest of the episode is about, but the whole episode should have been like.
They should have hit the ground running with Garrison's passing.
Exactly.
They should not have hit the ground running, in my opinion, or your opinion.
Playing.
Yeah, that was a little crazy.
Yeah.
So then Isabel and Christine talk about how Christine was the boss and now she needs to make decisions with David. I don't know why they juxtaposed the whole thing with David in there at the beginning of this.
It was a really, it was not.
It was like they didn't have enough people commenting on Garrison's passing, so they had to put that stuff in there, you know what I mean?
Right. It was about 20 minutes of filler before they, actually 17 minutes to be exact, because I.
You timed it?
Yeah.
Then Isabel sings David's praises and says he's been really great for Truly. Then it switches to Mary and her BFF Jen. They're closing down the B&B, and Mary wants to turn it into a small gathering venue. Mary says she just wanted the house back in the family. She didn't want a B&B. And she expresses her desire to date and find a man, even though some people won't date her due to her being in the public eye and having been a polygamist. She says she wants to find a man who doesn't call backsies on loving her. She says she's dating but hasn't found the one.
Hasn't found her person.
Hasn't found her person.
Yes, that's what she said.
Well, the one, her person, yeah. Then, during Mary's confessional, Kody keeps calling, and Mary says it's an emergency. Well, first she says she's annoyed because he keeps calling.
Because he keeps calling, he never calls.
And she says he can just text me, this is foolish,
Yeah.
but then he continues to call. So she takes the call and she tells, who's filming her, the producer probably, that it's an emergency. And then the news of Garrison's passing fills the screen. We then switch to Janelle, who says he took his life. And then Christine says they all knew he was sad. And then Kody says he was trying to console his kids, and Gwen went to see him, and Kody then describes his grief. I have my opinion of his description of his grief, but I will keep it to myself. Robin then turns on the tears and describes how Kody felt. Not her, she doesn't talk about her at all. She talks all about Kody. Yeah. I was surprised. Mary seemed as distraught as Janelle almost.
Or more.
She was very distraught, so she must have been close to Garrison. And she says she went to Kody and Robin's and describes how she held on to Gwen. I know she is close to Gwen. Mary then says she went to Janelle's and brought food. Then they flash to Maddie and Caleb, and Maddie describes how when Janelle told her, it altered her brain chemistry, and Caleb, her husband, is just at a loss for words. Janelle then described the fact that she was worried about Garrison, and Gabriel told her he was gone. Gabriel then says Garrison felt deeper than he let on. And Gabe obviously is the sibling that is the closest to Garrison, right. You could tell. Christine then shared a movie quote Garrison loved, and she's crying. And it was something about "You'll see me in the stars." I guess Garrison loved the stars. They talk about that quite a bit. So, and I really thought this was sweet. Gabriel says Garrison made everyone feel comfortable, which is the mark of a true gentleman. I thought that was a nice thing to say about his brother, a nice tribute. And then Janelle says Garrison started to drink during COVID and that he did have a problem, and his blood alcohol level was really off the chain. It was like, they said it was almost a lethal dose that he'd had that night. Kody says he was cremated and would be buried next to his grandmother, Grandma Cheryl, I believe.
Yeah.
Janelle then talks about how she's taking life minute by minute and that she sometimes forgets Garrison is gone. Kody then says he didn't get a chance to make things right and that he thinks he had more time. And Robin says, you always think you had more time, you know. And Kody does seem to be remorseful. All the remorse seems to be about him. That's all I'm going to say about that, but he does seem to be remorseful. And then Janelle's sister comes to visit her, and Janelle and her sister talk about Gabe and Garrison and mental health. And Janelle says she's glad she's not in Flagstaff. We end with Kody and Robin. Kody saying he can't get out of the what ifs and the what could have beens. He also asks how he's going to do the holidays and says he's sad about what could have been and says he's going to get the urn and take Garrison home to Wyoming, and that would be he's very eager to take the urn to Wyoming and bury Garrison's ashes. He says that'll help him through the healing process, and that would be a pilgrimage for him.
Right.
And that was pretty much the essence of the episode, right? Is there anything that you noticed that I didn't cover?
No, you got all the highlights, all the important parts. It's hard to discuss this because everybody deals with death differently.
Yeah,
everybody processes it differently, so you really can't say anything one way or the other.
Right.
The one thing I can say that I can disparage a little bit is just the way they handled the show. It should have been 1 full hour dedicated.
But maybe they didn't want it that way. You know, maybe they didn't want memories of Garrison. Maybe they didn't want to. And it was very few pictures and not a lot of memories.
There was hardly
right?
anything, but even still, you could have still drawn out the episode without the nonsense in the beginning with the frisbee throwing and the B&B closing down, whatever.
Right.
Because that's really all they did. They really does look like they're like, okay, what can we find to fill 17 minutes with?
Yeah. So next week will be the tell-all, and I hear it gets pretty spicy. I know that Kody shuts Suki down, and there's a lot of controversy with the tell-alls as it is because the original person they had, they said Kody got rid of her. So, and he won't be interviewed by a man. I'd like to see Kevin Frazier. If you would like to also see Kevin Frazier, leave a like and leave a comment. I think he would really go toe to toe with Kody. I think Kody needs to be interviewed by a man.
Yes.
And challenged by a man. I don't see the future of this show.
No, they were really
grasping at straws
this season.
To do this stuff.
What are they going to cover next season?
I have no idea. Cody's not going to get rid of his show though. If he has anything to say about it, I think it should be a half hour. If they cut it down to a half hour, they probably could do it.
Maybe.
You know.
There's just nothing there anymore.
No. There's it. I mean, and it's even the beginning. It's sister wives, and then the rings fall. So.
Unless he finds another wife.
He swears he doesn't want one. Robin swears she does, even though she really doesn't. Who knows? Take a look at the chat really quick. Hey Maven, how you doing? Hi Abby. We are talking about our instant reaction to Sister Wives. We just recapped it right now. So if you'd like to see our recap, it's really short.
Yeah.
We're trying to refrain from commentary on this, so. This summer, Maven, I hope to catch some of your Gen X question trivia games that you have. I can't play them at school. but I once in a while I'll see you on there doing it, so. So we are True Crime and Wine Couple. That's our coverage of Sister Wives. We plan on doing the tell-all next week, and then May, coming up later in May, we'll have to summer with June. I'm following all the crime stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. Diddy starts Monday, so that should be interesting. Tomorrow's Diddy's jury selection, and Karen Reed's still going on, and there's a whole lot of Stephen Stearns crap, and Delphi, they just released all the exhibits, so you get to see all of Richard Allen's tools and his
the New England serial killer.
There's the whole New England serial killer. So there's a lot of stuff going on. So we'll be doing some Friday Night Lives here and there to talk about that sort of stuff. And if there's any content you'd like to see, leave a comment. Please like, please subscribe. We're really trying to get to the 1,000. If you could help us out, we'd really appreciate it. Like I said, come back next week for all of the charmingly amateurish
Yes.
content that 700 and now 58 of you have grown
Yes.
to love. And let me just check the chat one more time before we roll out. Abby says she'll watch it. Thank you, Abby. We appreciate you, and we appreciate you, Maven, and keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on. There you go.
As we will. And Lefty says bye too.
Yep.
This is my Velcro dog. So we will catch you next week on the flip side. It'll be a lot more interesting of a discussion of ours. Obviously the episode was really sad, and it'll be more, we can really rag on Kody and do the fun stuff that we like to do. So we will catch you next week on